Hi, this live prepper here. I've talked about the New World Order with some people and different things, and I did a little research. Now, this one here was by Simona Rich. Know Yourself and Grow, it says. And it says How to Survive the New World Order. This was published June 18th, 2012. I don't know if I can get it to show. No, it won't show on my other laptop. This laptop's kind of screwed up, so I can't do a lot with it, but I can do a little research. Now, what he talks about is this. It says a vast majority of people have heard at least something about the new water, and some people get obsessed about researching everything about it. Some people become fearful, some angry when they hear about it. It's a vast subject, and it is a true subject, but there are a lot of inconsistency and misinformation about it online, it says. Now, he says, however, the fact is, most people are slaves. You hear that? Slaves. Most people are slaves. We are slaves to things, even though we think we're not. We still are slaves. The word freedom is becoming so fleeting, uh, more and more every day. It seems like, and so those who work for the system and population control is at its full force. The chemicals are in the air, water, and food. So all this stuff that we're consuming, all these byproducts, all this stuff that's put into preservatives, everything else, the chemicals that we're exposed is creating more and more health problems for a lot of people. It's going to get rid of the ones that are just not healthy. It will get rid of. Says yes, the vast majority of the world is ruled by a few, and they establish harsh laws to the approval of ignorant masses. I've talked about it with some other people that with the electoral votes and all that was still even supposed to be, they still override it and things like that. And people can pick it and raise a fit about it. They can send petitions in and sign them and say things. But when it comes down to it, the people really don't have a say so much in a lot of it. But then there's some of them saying, yeah, I support it. Then there's those say no, they don't support it. They retaliate against it. But basically, most people support things, follows along with a lot of what's bad for people is as good as almost everyone buys it, and that's what happens. And that's what I'm saying. Everything common is set up for our destruction and crushing of the souls. Education, employment, uh, religions, they're putting them that governments, media, everything that the wide masses of people approve is likely to be very bad for us. A lot of the religions, when I did a little article talking about cults and things like that, and these false, whatever you want to call them, there's people who places themselves as gods after a while, and they control these groups, and these groups follow them. So this here's what a lot of that is on that there. So it says, so what can we do? Fight the system, talk about it, form groups. Here are my way of surviving the new world order. Now this is this person's way. First one he's talking about, groups are for sheep. We are not sheep. That's why those awakening to the truth are usually alone. They can't form groups because it's not in their awakened nature, and after all, those who become members would be still programmed. The sign that a person is deprogrammed is when she refuses to belong to any religion, company, or group. I tell people that the world is my church, and I was told I'm wrong in it. That I have no, I need to be in a church with a group of people. That I'm wrong to feel that the world is my church. That I'm wrong not saying what faith I am because I don't think I need to put a label. I don't need to say I'm a Baptist or I'm a Church of Christ or a Pentecostal or whatever other. I don't need to say that because I feel my relationship with God is between me and God, and if I talk to you about God, if we sit down and talk, we're having worship with God. So I feel the world is my church. So, and I've been told I was wrong. So, even worse, groups tend to become violent or one-sided with time. Groups become corrupt with time. Group leaders become power thirsty, and that won't accomplish anything good. As I was telling you, people begin to get this God complex going on, and then some of them will go to the extreme left, some will go to the extreme right. Then they'll start making new laws and stuff. If any of y'all ever watched Walking Dead, you remember the mayor of the community. He was, he started out with good intentions, but it all went to his head. This godlike complex. So then when he got ran out and everything was, and then he wound up in another group, he decided he wanted that prison. So what happened is his God complex like deal ended up killing countless people. And they followed him and they was willing to share the prison with him. But no, he wanted it all. So that's what we're talking about and things that can happen. He says, so I would suggest another way. Live your truth. Set examples. Awaken people by the way you live. Share your good energy with others. Show them through your example. Don't try to change them. Simply live the best way you can. Those who are ready will get what they need from your life and will be hopefully awakened. I check out a lot of these groups, and I've got my membership with these groups on these computers and on things like that. And a lot of it's just way out to too much for me, for my taste. And I've talked to some of the other ladies as went to some of these so-called prepper events or whatever, come back really disappointed here. They said it's a lot different than it was a few years back. What it's gotten is more commercialized, more about making money. It's not to take advantage of newbies. So some of the people that get over there make sense, but some of them don't make sense to me. But that's my personal opinion on it. I don't get on there 24/7. I just don't. Now, he says, suggest people like you. It'd be very sad to see a few companies ruling the world. A month ago, I was in North UK. The shops in the city were the same as in South UK. Like in every town you go into in UK, everything looks the same. It's so sad. It's killing the soul of those places. So basically what, like I'm saying, is you got corporations that's taking out, chasing mom and pop businesses out. You're seeing coffee shops of the same company around. You're seeing the fast food. I have gotten in the habit of it myself. I'm trying to break the habit. I've decided that I needed to break the habit of this from going to the restaurants and get in the habit, swinging by and getting some dollar burgers and going home and eating them because they're full of preservatives. Really not good for me. I'm sorry about that. I got a dry cough. But that's what's happened to us. It has become so easy to swing by these places and spend a few dollars buying stuff, and they're full of chemicals and preservatives and stuff that's really not good for us. And that's what's increasing the health problems. Um, he said, thank God in most places in you can't find soulless shops such as McDonald's or some of these others. Right now, many of the third world countries still have, he says, individual or family runs small businesses selling natural foods, homemade jewelry, making brass water containers, painting religious pictures. That's beautiful. Every place you go to is unique, thanks to these creative business people. India still holds many ways to many of their old cultures, but same time it is starting to change more. But this was in 2012 when he wrote this article. This is 2012, so a lot of things has changed in 3 years. It's showing that more and more of the countries, the third world countries, the tribes and stuff, are being more and more influenced by the modern day society. So many of them are losing a lot of their old fashioned ideas. So he's talking about, these horrible people, tyrants, what do you want to call them, taking them over, running the small businesses out, and said we should help the small businesses. Unfortunately, a lot of people uh, won't go to the small businesses unless they have to, unless it's right in their area. If you live in an area and you got a convenience store right down the road, it's a mom and pop business, and you don't want to have to drive all the way in town just to get a 2 liter Coke or some bleach or something like that, you'll go and do that. But unfortunately, a lot of people will go to the big businesses before they go to the small ones in many cases. That's just how it goes. And he talks about growing your own food. Many people don't even know how to grow their own food. They have no idea. Uh, Many people are so codependent and counting on the government and churches and others to feed them that they don't know how to can food. They don't know how to really cook. Everything is preserved and stuff. They're just popping a TV dinner. I was just as guilty. I got TV dinners, thought I was doing well, eating portion meals and everything. And then I started realizing I couldn't keep my blood pressure under control. It didn't work. It says fight hatred with love. I've talked about racist people and all that. We all have our attitudes. Some of them just drives me up the wall still. Don't matter what race they are. They're just some of them. Their mouth just gets me. They're very judgmental. They're very two-sided on the coin. It's all right for them to be like that, but they don't want someone else to be like that. So yeah, so you have that, and then it says never, never fear. Now, fear is the food of those power thirsty individual who rules us. I've gotten, management comes into the job. A lot of them's freaking out. Oh my God, the upper management's here. Let's get this done. Da da da. I don't get excited about it. It's okay. I'll do what I gotta do. They're coming in. Okay, fine. I don't get excited over it, and I don't feel the need to jump through the hoops. I want to do what I got. I want to do the best I can, but I don't feel the need to do that like some people do. They feel like they've got to do this uh, in order to keep things or whatever they got. So he says also, it says, find your own path. I've always been different. It's been a struggle all my life to see things and view things. And I tried to fit into quote unquote crap society. I tried to fit into the going to the churches and stuff. And there was a lot of good people out there. Don't get me wrong. I tried to be like what they expected me to be, but I could not. I was not happy in that situation, in that closed in inside that box environment, because I was always the outside type of box person. And I said, I've got to get more and more back to who I was to truly be happy. So I find my own path. Um, Now it says help open-minded ones. Now it's talking about not pushing them, forcing people. Also, now there is open-minded people out there, but everybody's different. Everybody's different on their open-mindedness. Now some of them are on the borderline of extreme right or on the borderline of the extreme left, and they can be a danger. Some of these groups can be problems. Some of the so-called open-minded people are some of the most foul-mouthed, discussing people, closed-minded. They say they're open-minded as long as you agree with what they want, and then if you don't agree with it, they're not so open-minded. So finding someone within your level. Now, like I'm more back to nature, I'm more back to the basic prepping, and make a deal with what I have with the simple things in life. That is so what I want to find and channel in with them. So, and it says, also it says, respect God's manifestation. Don't harm animals. This means not eating meat too. Clean nature environment. Raise vibrant of the universe by prayer and meditation. Respect everything that God was created by God. Now, I'm a firm believer that if you don't need it, don't kill it unless, you have to defend yourself. You kill for the meat, the animals, deers or whatever, for the purpose of eating, to put food in your belly. unless there is, for say a bear's trying to attack you or a cougar or something like that. If you got to defend yourself, that's one thing. But don't just go out hunt and slaughter animals. Be slaughtering animals just for the fun of it. Use the meat to eat with. That's how I feel. It says another one. He said, don't overload yourself with information. Uh, I see that a lot with people. I see that a lot. I did the newbie mistakes too, where, okay, I want that, yeah, reading all this stuff. Then I had to step back and say, whoa, wait a minute. No, I don't know about that. Yeah, maybe. But I don't live for the sights. I don't get on my computer every day. I don't read everything I see every day because a lot of it, I don't really agree with some of it. I have talked about some of the articles, and they're talking about if they had an RV, this is what they would do. They do a story about it, but they don't own their own RV. So I don't get overexcited about things, thinking I need to run out and get that because these people are talking about it. So, and then he talks about protect your health. Now, I've been I talk a lot about people with handicap issues and limits and stuff. I've done a few videos. I've done a couple of videos working out with limits for big people with your health and everything. You can, as your body, as you get older, your metabolism changes, your health changes, but you still can take care of yourself as much as possible. So by starting real simple, if you go and you eat at a restaurant 5 times a week, just say 5 times a week, and that's your working time, take 2 of those days and make your own meal and bring it with you instead and start seeing the difference in your health. Think about changing some of it around. I'm not telling you got to be a size of a model or anything like that. What I'm just saying is even a person with limits and health issues, they can do things to try to help jumpstart things to try to take care of oneself as well. And then it says, don't buy into the collective green. Live your own truth. You know you're out of collective green when you are no longer unaware participator in it, but a thoughtful observer. Your life is so different to the life of a common person that sometimes you feel that you are not of this world. That called living your own truth. I have to work and pay bills, just like anybody else. I have to have insurance and all this stuff, but I go and I'm at work and I'll talk to some people sometimes and things, but I listen to them. Just go to a restaurant at McDonald's. I listen to these people talk, and I think about how different I am and my ideas and my attitudes, and I'm just like, okay, but I'm looking outside the box at how I feel and what's making me comfortable and happy in my simple prepper lifestyle. So that's something for everybody to think about. So, I went a little bit longer on this than normal. It is a good subject. So this here, he's just saying is how to survive the new world order. And that's really basically just surviving when it comes down to it. So this is Life Prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.